bounce about it in the training ground, in fans' places of work. The club is on the up. There's no question about it.
Did the blue half do enough today to get anything out of that?
I think in the second half, in various stages of the game, I would say yes. But I think after that goal, they kind of lost their way a little bit until later on in the game where they started trying to chuck balls in the box for pretty much the first time of the 90 minutes, giving Haaland something to try and fight for and feed off of. But in general, that big decision changed the game. And Man United capitalised on it.
We will discuss that big decision in great detail. But we are off and running on this Premier League Saturday. What
fantastic comeback, a famous win.
Oh, obviously, it's always important to win the game. Doesn't matter, as I said before the game, for us, doesn't matter the opponent, the most important is winning, and we did it. It was an amazing comeback, great effort from the team. I said it before the game to the team. We look like a team now. Some months ago, well, some time ago, you could see sometimes a team, sometimes a little bit, each one of us looking a little bit for ourselves, but now you see a proper team that works hard for each other, and you see that it pays.
The first goal was a little bit controversial, because Marcus was offside and you're in on goal. Did you shout? Did you call?
No, I think because I was facing the goal, Marcus probably saw that I was in a better position. I didn't know if any of us was on offside or not, but it doesn't have any influence because there was no one closer to him. So it doesn't make any influence on the teammates to defend. The only one close was one close to me, so it is what it is. But it's a goal at the end. We are really happy for that.
Marcus, the winner. I thought you were injured in the first half. You weren't going to make the second half. But I mean, what a finish.
Just a little knock, but in games like this, you have to just try and push through. And thankfully, I managed to do that. Obviously, scoring the goal at the end and winning the game. That's what we set out to do. As Bruno said, that's always the aim before every game. This game obviously is a little bit special, but either way, we're pleased to have the 3 points and continue winning at Old Trafford.
Needed something to lift you, because at the start of the second half, City looked like they had control. Garnacho changed things. He added some pace in there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a change of dynamics, and I think I've said this many times before, but the options that we've got coming off the bench, even when we've had injuries this year at times in the forward line and everyone's played out of position. Bruno played out of position today. But as you can see, everyone's putting a shift in, and when you've got players like Garner, young, hungry, full of talent, ready to come on and make a difference, and anything's possible. But yeah, like I said, we're very pleased to manage to come back, win the game, get 3 points, and now it's about recovering and moving on to the next game.
And there's no doubting the significance of this result, particularly when you look back to October. You're now 1 point behind City.
That doesn't matter for us. We have to look forward. We have to look forward for the next game, because you can be closer, but if you don't keep winning, they will go. So the mentality now is to be celebrating, because it's a big win on the derby. It's a long day today, so we have to celebrate that. But from tomorrow, straight away head on Crystal Palace. It's always tough to play away there. We all know that. So our focus has to be straight on that.
It was a nice interchange for that first goal. I think he could do the same for Marcus. Hand that to Bruno. He's player of the match. Well done, gents. Well played.
Well, those two are right at the heart, as you are hearing, of the big moment of the match. That 1-0 up, and Bruno Fernandes' goal stood. So, what was the interpretation here?
Wow. Well, when I first saw the goal, I must admit, I thought Rashford's not touched the ball, not interfered, so it should be counted. When I watched it again, I'm actually changing my mind. I think he does make a movement towards the ball. I think if you take Rashford out the equation, possibly Ederson and the two players that are chasing him down all get there before Bruno. I believe that could happen. So he has definitely directly influenced that goal by being offside. And I think, on balance, it's probably an offside decision.
Berber?
Who knows what the rules are anymore? I mean, we are discussing here a lot of options, and if you ask Sean, he's going to tell you it's offside.
Well, we know that. We don't even need to ask that question.
Yeah,
if you're in Marcus Rashford's position there, has he been quite clever?
Yeah,
of course.
In letting Fernandes
And I
come
first thought that Fernandes was yelling at him to leave the ball, but obviously probably that wasn't the case because they asked him just now. But he was clever enough to leave the ball. And in my case, now I'm thinking he's in offside. I can agree with Mo as well, with Sean too. And that decision for the referee to make it straight away, because as Michael said, I looked and I now changed my mind, but the referee needs to react straight away there. Did they look the VAR as well? Because we didn't see anything.
Well, let's speak to Dermot Gallagher, because you say you're not sure what the law is and what VAR did. So, Dermot, over to you, my friend. Explain away. What was the process?
Oh, massive decision, isn't it, Steve? You look at it, when I first see it, I thought it'd be flagged offside. When you drill down and you listen to what the referee says to the assistant, how they come to it, I can understand their reasoning.
What did they say?
Well, Darren Can thinks it's offside, doesn't he? He sees Rashford in an offside position. This is what Darren sees. You can see he's quite clearly in an offside position. Well, offside isn't an offence in itself. Stuart Atwell, when he speaks to him, he's got to make up his mind on two aspects. A, does he touch the ball? Well, no, he doesn't. B, does he interfere with an opponent or impact on an opponent? Well, does he impact on Akanji? I'm not sure, because Akanji's always the wrong side of him. Does he impact on Walker? Definitely not, because Fernandes is always going to get there first. The goalkeeper, I'm not sure of. So what happens is Stuart's looking down the barrel. He will know the distance between Akanji and Rashford. He's taken the view that A, he hasn't impacted on play because he hasn't touched the ball. B, he hasn't impacted on an opponent, and he's given a goal. The reason they haven't gone to the screen and the VAR can't intervene is because it's not factual, it's a subjective decision, and the referee must make that decision. So therefore he's made that decision. There's no evidence to say he's wrong for the VAR, therefore goal's given.
Dermot, you know the run by Rashford and in the rules. So let's talk about the run. He runs towards the corner flag, he's going, and then he makes almost a total change towards the other corner flag. So there's a massive change towards the ball. Does that influence anything if you're running now towards the ball? Watch his run. He's like running towards the corner flag.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he makes a change of direction towards the ball.
Well, if you can stop it there, if you can stop it there, right, I'll go back slightly.
Yeah.
Right, if you stop it there, right, he hasn't touched the ball, so he hasn't committed an offence in itself. The only other thing he can do now is, does he impact on a defender? Well, the defender is Akanji. Now, that's the moot point. As it rolls on, if you roll it on for me, Akanji is still not catching. So Rashford there still hasn't committed an offence himself, and that's where Fernandes comes involved. And as I say, Walker's not impacted by him. And that, you look at Stuart Atwell. Stuart Atwell has got that view, as I spoke about earlier, down the barrel, and he sees the distance between Rashford and Akanji, and that's why he makes that decision that he hasn't impacted on, therefore he's decided to give a goal.
But there, he doesn't look at Rashford as offside. He can't see that Rashford's offside from his position. So, of course, naturally, he's going to let the ball run. But if he's offside and you chase the ball, surely that's you affecting defenders and goalkeepers' decisions on whether to make a tackle, to come across, or position yourself better. Akanji knows that Rashford is offside, so he's always going to be that offside position. So I don't understand how that's not given.
And this is why it's a subjective decision, Sean. This is why I think it's such a massive call, because the referee, as you see it, as I showed in that view, the one behind the goal, if you look at the referee's position, the referee is looking between the players. This is what I talk about down the barrel. So he will be fed by Darren Can. He's in offside position. And he will then have to make a judgment of where Akanji is, where the ball is, and where Rashford is. And that's ultimately where this decision has arisen from. Because the difference is, can Akanji play that ball? Has Akanji been blocked off by Rashford? Has Rashford impacted on him? And Stuart alone has made that decision. And as I say, the referee's made that decision on the field. The VAR can't go against him because it's a subjective decision, as I said, as opposed to a factual one. And that's why it has to default back to Stuart's decision.
Dermot, thank you very much indeed. No doubt we will speak to you later on as well. I can tell you, Baby, you're totally clear on that. What you are clear on is Marcus Rashford's talent, his form, and his ability at the moment to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he was, again, 9 games in a row.
Yes.
Scoring goals. And that pass from Bruno Fernandes, to me, is the key in that attack, because he see Garnacho running, giving the ball a bit of luck because the ball is bounced back to him. But then a great cross, Marcus in the right place to score that winning goal. And again, look at that great pass. I mean, for me, this is the key here. Garnacho is still producing goods every time he plays. And here you can say mistake from Akanji, because maybe he was too tired running back, chasing, and he wasn't aware of, but he should be aware, but in this case, he wasn't.
Again, he's probably thinking he's offside, isn't he?
Probably.
And that's the thing. And he is in an offside position, but the ball actually gets pulled back when we see it from the side. So everything that could go wrong for Manchester City went wrong, of course. And you have to say that the offside goal from Bruno Fernandes was the turning point of the game, no question.
Indeed, and Marcus Rashford won it 9 games in a row at Old Trafford. He's equalled a club record for goalless after the first half of the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. Demi, you said you were interested to see how Manchester United would look against City today. What have you made of them in the first half?
Oh, I think they're the better team. In my opinion, they have the clear chances to score as well, with Rashford going behind the defence. And if he kept his composure, maybe the result was going to be 1-0 for United to 2-0. But I'm presently surprised that United is doing the way they play, and they're into the face of City. They're not dropping back so much. They're even in the high of the pitch trying to not press, but they're just there. They're just there, making their presence felt and making it more difficult for City to go with that passes, that risky passes, which they don't take. For me, it's unexplainable. We spoke about that. City have the quality to do that, but they're not doing it. Maybe because United's up there in their faces.
It's 2.5 hours since Manchester City had a shot on target in any competition.
It's not something we're used to hearing, that's for sure. I think, like Berber said there's been loads of opportunities really to risk the ball. But the only person that normally does that is Kevin De Bruyne. Now, Gundogan tries it sometimes when he's on, but unfortunately he's on the bench. But Haaland's been making runs, even Phil's tried to make some, and they're not putting the ball in there. I think they have to get behind Man United to then create the space in front of them for the likes of your Kevin De Bruyne's and so on. And until that happens, Man United are going to have the upper hand.
Do you have to give Erik ten Hag some credit here, the way he set that United team up in terms of stifling City? You
do. I think the guys are right. It's been a fascinating game from a tactical point of view, and we'll have a look at how Manchester United have stifled them, because the guys say that the likes of De Bruyne, Silva, Bernardo Silva, they're players that they like to get on the ball and like to create chances. But Manchester United have done a real good job. And what they've done, which is quite the opposite of a lot of teams this season, Manchester United have allowed this ball into Haaland. Most teams are stopping that ball this season, and subsequently we see Haaland hardly having any touches in the games. Whereas Manchester United have changed this today. They normally have Casemiro as a sole 6 sitting in the middle, but they've actually split the two. They've got 2 players in that position. Casemiro playing as the right-sided 6, and of course Fred playing on the left. And Fred has basically done a man-to-man marking job on De Bruyne for the whole game. You can see again, nobody in front of Haaland at all, and the 2 6s really split. So they're happy for Shaw and Varane to actually look after Haaland on his own. Subsequently, he's been coming deep and thinking he could get the ball and start linking. And Fred has basically just marshalled De Bruyne all the way around the pitch. Even when he makes runs, he tracks him. Does great here to get a block, and it bounces out for a goal kick. Again, when De Bruyne thinks, right, I'm going to move on to the other side, will he come and follow me then? Yes, he will. He comes over, makes one challenge there, and then another one there. So that man really has done his homework and said, right, we've got to stop these players. And if anything, let the ball go into Haaland's feet. And that shows it, Steve. That shows that the touch is hardly had a touch in an opposition half. All coming to feet, Berber, which that's where you want Haaland.
How far away from the opposition goal that is.
How would you feel if that was you, Berber?
No, I think they try to frustrate him on purpose. Because if you're a striker and you don't touch the ball at all, or you have 8 touches, you are basically out of the game in a way. You don't feel connected with the game. Then when you touch the ball, maybe you'll be a bit more stiff, not into the game. And when you touch the ball so deep into your own half, I don't see the point, actually. You need to be up there where your power is. You can touch it here 1 or 2 times to feel the ball, to get into the game, get you going. But at the same time, you need to be here where your strength is.
I just think, Mo isolated the fact that they're allowing the pass into Haaland, but City still are kind of ignoring it. I think Haaland's got the frame, the strength. If that's what they're doing, take the option, because if he gets turned one time, then you're going to have runners off of him. And we've seen before he can pick out a pass. So try it. and see what happens, just to give them something else to think of, because all we're doing is just passing side to side at the minute, and it's not affecting them.
It is a fascinating matchup, and it is all to play for in the Manchester derby.